Hello, I'm Tony Svejcar with the Agricultural Research Service and the Eastern Oregon Agricultural Research Center, and I'm here to present an Eastern Oregon Ag Minute. This week we're going to talk about agricultural research in general and steps that we take to ensure that research is a good investment for you, the public. There have been a host of economic studies that have evaluated the rate of return on investments in agricultural research. A fairly detailed study from Virginia found that the rate of return on ag research investments was 58%. A part of that study found that a $1 increase in research expenditures increased agricultural production about $9 over 12 years. Consider the overall economic impacts of such an increase in agricultural production. If we throw out the high and low rates, the return on investment generally ranges between 20 and 40%. Compare that to the rate of return you currently receive on your savings account. If you follow the money that goes into third world agriculture from World Bank, foreign aid, and foundation donors, you'll see a shift over the past 30 years. There are now fewer direct loans for ag projects and more support for agricultural research and extension. There is simply a better return on investment. The rest of this week I'll talk about the things we do to ensure that ag research is a good investment. Today I want to talk about how we choose research issues and individual projects. It's critical that we stay in touch with our livestock producers and agency land managers, who we consider our customers and stakeholders, to ensure that we are meeting your needs. Many of our projects are a direct result of your input. The juniper, sage grouse, and water quality programs are great examples. You have probably noticed our interest and involvement in local land resource discussions. We feel that participating in these activities are central to keeping our finger on the pulse of local natural resource issues. In the sage grouse example, the head of the Sage Grouse Task Force for the Oregon Cattlemen's Association asked for a meeting with our staff. From that and several other meetings, a number of research projects were developed. Our staff attends a wide variety of state, regional, and national meetings to stay current on agricultural and natural resource issues. If we can anticipate future research needs, it may be possible to keep a developing issue from becoming a problem. We serve a broad group, and there are diverse views on how we should spend our time. Those of us in the federal part of the program also receive input on research priorities from the national level. At the Eastern Oregon Ag Research Center, we have an advisory committee that reviews our program and provides input on a regular basis. To ensure that we are spending research dollars efficiently and maximizing your return on investment, it's critical that we focus on important research topics. We take that responsibility very seriously. Today I want to talk about the ways we make sure research is not duplicated among different research units. Before we start a research project, we conduct a detailed literature search, gathering prior published work on a topic. We also communicate with other scientists doing similar work. This is one of the reasons we attend scientific meetings, to keep up on current research at other locations. There is also an ag research database that we search as part of our formal research planning effort. One advantage of getting to know other groups is that we can occasionally cooperate and conduct some pretty high-impact research. A good example is the research on juniper impacts on erosion and runoff. We were able to cooperate with the Ag Research Service Watershed Lab in Boise and conducted research that really neither group could have done on its own. Coordination and interaction among research groups will help ensure that ag research dollars are spent efficiently. This week we have been talking about investments in ag research. A major piece of the puzzle is making sure the information we produce is available to you. This is generally called technology transfer. We use a wide variety of methods to make information available. First, we publish in scientific journals. These articles are reviewed by other scientists or peer-reviewed and are an important source of information for other scientists, for regulators, and for court cases. Because they are peer-reviewed, they tend to carry weight. But not many non-scientists get excited about reading this relatively dry form of publication. So, to reach the non-scientific audience, we use a combination of tours, field days, experiment station reports, popular press publications, such as articles in the Times-Herald or Capital Press, summary articles, general presentations, workshops, and one-on-one contacts. As an example, there was recently a Society for Range Management meeting in Ontario, and our staff gave 2 of the 3 formal presentations. Chad Boyd gave an overview of sage-grouse habitat research, and Michael Carpinelli summarized what we know about medusa head, that nasty weed. And they both did a great job. There were over 100 people in the audience, including ranchers, extension specialists, state and federal land managers, and other researchers. The Ag Minutes are another form of technology transfer. Speaking of which, join me again tomorrow at this same time when I'll talk about the reasons we must have sound science to be effective. Today I want to say a few words about sound, credible research and why it is so important. As researchers, we are at times criticized for being too slow to answer questions, for not being definitive enough, and for not being strong enough advocates for a particular position. I want to tell you why I think these are good, not bad characteristics. We often conduct research that includes many plots or samples, often many different sites, and generally the research is conducted over a number of years. The reason we are slow is that we want to be confident in our recommendations. Results from one site or year may not apply to other sites and years. We joke that we hate to mess up a good story by collecting more data, but this is often what happens. We also try to make everyone aware of the limits of our data. We generally cannot say that a result is to be expected 100% of the time, so we talk about the limitations, which at times makes our answers seem less than absolute. And finally, we strive to make sure our research is as credible and unbiased as possible. We design research to answer questions, not to defend a particular point of view. If research is not designed in an unbiased manner, then it will likely not stand the test of time and ultimately will be a poor use of research funds. In the near future, I'll provide a little more detail on the reasons we take so many samples and spend so much time on individual projects. I'm Tony Svejcar. Thanks for listening.